Everyone on the base thought she was just another civilian. But when the young guard refused to check her ID, he had no idea he was seconds away from being surrounded by three of the highest-ranking generals in the state. Before I tell you what happened next, tell me in the comments where you're watching from. I love knowing who's listening. It was a cold morning at Fort West Field. The kind of morning where the air bites through uniforms and tempers run thin. A dusty gray sedan pulled up to the checkpoint. Its driver, a woman in her late 40s, calm, collected, wearing a simple blue coat with no insignia. She rolled down her window, handed over her ID, and smiled softly. But the young guard barely glanced at it before waving her off. "Ma'am, this area's restricted. Visitors use Gate 3, he said sharply. "I'm not a visitor," she replied evenly. "Check the clearance level on that card." He sighed, taking a step back. "I don't have time for this. Please turn around." Her eyes flickered with quiet disbelief. For a moment she considered arguing, but she stopped herself. The wind picked up, lifting strands of her graying hair as she said, almost under her breath, "You might want to check that ID, son. For your sake." The guard smirked. "Ma'am, I'm doing my job." He wasn't. Not really. Because 2 minutes later, his radio crackled alive with static and urgency. A deep voice cut through. "All units, hold your position. General Lawson en route to main gate." The guard froze. He looked toward the sedan. The woman hadn't moved. Her hands were still on the steering wheel, her gaze fixed ahead. Calm, patient, but unshakably confident. A black SUV appeared down the hill, followed by 2 more vehicles. Within moments, the gates that had kept her out swung open, not by the guard's hand, but by the rushing movement of 3 senior generals, stepping out in full uniform. The first man approached her door with visible respect. "Ma'am," he said, saluting. "It's been too long." The young guard's face drained of color. The woman finally turned toward him. "You see, Sergeant," General Lawson said sternly, "you just refused entry to Colonel Rebecca Miles, the woman who trained most of our field medics and saved 40 men during the Sierra collapse." The silence that followed was almost physical. A few soldiers nearby stopped what they were doing, glancing toward the commotion. The air felt heavy, shame mixing with awe. The guard stepped forward, stammering. "I didn't know, sir. I thought it—" "That's the problem," Lawson interrupted. "You thought." Colonel Miles, still calm, opened her door and stepped out. "It's all right," she said softly. "He's young. Let him learn the right way." She extended her hand. The guard hesitated, then shook it, his voice trembling. "I'm sorry, ma'am." Her eyes softened. "One day when you've seen what I've seen, you'll understand that respect has nothing to do with rank, and everything to do with humanity." The 3 generals escorted her past the gate, their presence commanding silence from everyone in sight. Soldiers stood straighter, some whispering in disbelief, others watching her with quiet admiration. For the first time in years, the base felt still. Later that day, word spread across Fort West Field. Like wildfire, the forgotten colonel had returned. Not for glory, not for inspection, but to honor the names of fallen medics who had never come home. She'd been denied entry to her own ceremony. But she didn't blame anyone. Instead, she requested that the young guard stand beside her during the tribute, shoulder to shoulder. When the bugle sounded and names echoed across the yard, tears welled in his eyes. And for a brief moment, he understood why everyone who knew her called her the quiet heart of the battlefield. Because kindness doesn't vanish. It waits, and it finds its way back. And on that cold morning, behind the gates of Fort West Field, it found its way home again. If this story moved you, leave a comment below, and don't forget to subscribe for more untold stories of courage, compassion, and justice. Your support keeps these voices alive.